This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your live market review Wednesday, December 13th, 2023. Interesting day. If you've been patient, this was basically Santa Claus coming to town. In my opinion, if you were a bull, it was time to take profits on these blow off. We talked about it last week. If you had any shorts or bullish, look for the blow off at some point. Potentially it was coming. And again, is it perfect science? No, it's absolutely not. But you have to be very aware of what? That sometimes the market's going to blow off, bull trap, bear trap, whatever you want to call it, at the highs and the lows. But a lot of people wrap their head around certainty and go, well, everyone's bullish, it's breaking out, it's going higher. If you're new to the channel, you've remembered other times we've been short or long, going into extremes. And you've seen what? At the lows, nobody believes the market can go higher. The world is ending. And guess what? Time to go hide in a bunker. Well, now flip that upside down. What happened today? The feds are going to cut three times. Everyone's saved. Everything's amazing. Everything is awesome, as the Lego guys would say. However, I would warn you folks. Check this out. This is a chart. Oops. You need to be careful of. Come on. Come on. Today, Junior. Oh, that's just talk. Let me go to my page. I apologize. What do we need to be worried about? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Where is it? Killing myself. Maybe it's on my Facebook. I guess I did not drop it. All right. Give me 2 seconds on another page. My bad. It happens, right? No one's perfect. Oh, man, just cooked a steak. It's a little smoky. It's a little smoky. Apologize. Here we go. Zinger. First rate cut, recession, boom. This feels like the peak. Now, if it's not today, someone's going to be like, you were so wrong. You're an idiot. Okay. That's the thing I want to talk about, because when the Feds decided, not even decided, today acknowledged 75 basis point 3 rate cuts in 2024, Powell said things are slowing. That narrative of soft landing, Google, crazy, by Uber Googled. Problem is what? When have the Feds navigated a soft landing? Can anyone remind me? Can anyone remind me the last time the Feds navigated a soft landing? Anyone? Can you remember? No. Because I think it's only happened once out of like 13 times when they decided to raise rates off the lows. So your guess is as good as mine. And I think that's stats from like 1903 or something. Again, someone can correct me if I'm wrong on it. I don't mind. But at this point, what can you really say or do? Just be careful. That's all I can say is be careful. Because again, blow-offs, straight line moves, that's what we're looking for. Bull and bear traps. So again, if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room, link in the description below. Posts, appreciate everyone posting today. It's always appreciated. Hit up the website, thetradingagent.com. Referral code for interactive brokers, because I think there will be brokers that go out of business, Schwab. And you do not want your assets stuck, especially if you have shorts somehow at the lows and you can't get out. Also get that Marcus 5.4%. I think you'll appreciate it. So Fed Watch tool. Obviously, we told you it's a lock. Anything over 63% and change is a lock. Let's look at January. Or sorry, March. It's like already there. Sorry, January. 10%, starting to grow, right? Guaranteed in March, right? Getting pretty high. But keep in mind, like, just look at this from yesterday, the last couple days, like 1 month ago, 0%. 1 day ago, 4%. The Feds just gave away the milk and cookies. Now, a lot of people won't be like, well, why is the market going higher? And again, it's a liquidity trap. Because again, the market makers need unlimited liquidity to unload their large positions in. And guess who loves to read the news and basically, I would call manipulate the headlines. Now again, could we be wrong? Yes, it's a probability-based game. That's the reality here. It's a probability-based game. But if you fight probabilities, you're not going to win on the right. You're not going to land on the right side of winning in time. Sorry, I cooked a little steak earlier, and it's like a little smoky in the house. But just keep that in mind. So we can jump into Bitcoin. Think about Bitcoin, right? Everybody and their mom wanted it, right? We talked about it last week. I'd be careful, and then pulls back. Oil, a global growth indicator. Yellow. Hey, guys. What is this saying? Natural gas. What is it saying, right? I mean, we could go into a lot of other commodities, and they're getting poo-pooed, slammered, jammered, crushed, orange crush, right? Keep an eye on it, right? It's just, is it cut and dry? No. But it's looking like a major divergence because, again, commodities and bonds are leading. The yields had a nice move today. So the dollar, of course it was down because the Fed's basically said the economy's slowing. However, caveat, please take this to heart, China, if you're listening. I know you guys already know this. Property defaults, debt defaults in China are exploding. And people are like, why does that matter? It's been like that for a while. Their market is actually closer to the lows than it is the highs by a mile. And European markets are up in near 1999 levels. So what does that tell you? What's my point about China? I know for a fact that the way that the populace is revolting against communist China is to do what? They're stopping paying their debts. They literally have all this government-funded debt, properties, commercial, debt. And guess what people started doing? They just stopped paying. That's the best way they can get back at the Chinese government. So don't be surprised when the headlines get worse from them. But here goes the dollar. Near term, it's going to be hard. I don't know. I mean, again, if we break this, has room to drop. If it holds it, don't be surprised. TLT, I'm rather impressed that it's holding up. But again, once they announce 3 rate cuts, I mean, it's kind of been priced in. This is where it gets interesting near term, right? 75 basis points, right? Like the bond yields have improved more than that before this meeting. So keep an eye on this. This is a novice gap trap. Maybe it just, all it needs to do is test the 200-day. We'll see. The VIX. I mean, can you literally get it any lower? Now, I talked about this today. If you are looking to buy puts, oh my God, buy out to January at least. You have literally the cheapest, not cheapest, but one of the lowest VIXs you can do to buy puts long term. Now, again, you can define your risk. Don't sit here and go, I'm going to hold these things at zero if you're wrong. and be careful buying out of the money, right? Because if you're wrong, then you're probably going to lose it all. Just be thoughtful. Can you do that? Can you do that? We'll see. VIX, way low. VIVIX, or Vixen, sorry, like the NASDAQ. Look at that. VIVIX back at the low. Any questions, thoughts, concerns? Whoa, I didn't see that 112 print. That's wild. SPY. Now we're in uncharted territory, in my opinion, near term. Check out the weekly and the monthly, right? We're coming back into the highs. Okay. We'll see what happens here. People are like, this has to go higher. I'm like, well, do you remember? Do you remember the times when we were having none? Remember the times, 1973. Same thing. A big snapback into the fall, winter. You remember the times, little Michael Jackson, yeah. Hee. Keep an eye on this day, right? Keep an eye on this. Now again, futures after hours, a little more squeeze. Again, could we rise all the way into Friday? I mean, if my man Rotha Khan's listening, he talked about too, like, if save some bullets for Friday, for next Monday. It could be. QQQ, same thing. Look at this, man. People are like, breaking out. Okay, we'll see. Back testing the trend line. Didn't we talk about last week that institutions, hedge funds, and basically every mutual fund out there owns the Magnificent Seven? I think that the bottom line of is that when they interviewed these guys, 99% institution, hedge funds, mutual funds own the Magnificent Seven. You can't get much over-owned than that. Literally. Figuratively. Literally. Figuratively. Absolutely. Does that make sense? Little scary. IWM, Powell speaks, IWM rises. Okay. We'll see. We shall see. I mean, again, when you zoom out, because I love to look at the weeklies and monthlies. Here's back into the terror zone. Big, look at this big, choppy, sloppy. How we talk about straight line moves, like big candles can be at tops and bottoms, right? Big candles, big candles. I mean, just put all this together. It's one big candle, essentially, right? So, just be careful. Be careful. Sorry, someone's texting me. Oh, got a package at the door. Nope, I'm busy. So just keep an eye on this. I mean, this action, it's rather impressive. I'll give you that. But if you zoom out, you go, it's still lagging. Like incredibly lagging. Will we not agree that the IWM is nowhere near 240? Excuse my language. Sorry, just clean up some trend lines. So again, I mean, we'll see. After hours, I don't know if you guys are seeing this, that again, increased layoffs everywhere. Etsy dropping off 11% of their workforce. Saw yesterday where Hasbro or whatever, one of those toy companies dropping 10%. Everybody and their mom cutting and fighting. You know, we talk about unemployment rising, like that's the next problem. That's what I'm watching. Dow breaking out. Okay. Credit where credit's due. Credit Suisse is due, right? Keep an eye on it. Gold, we talked about it, holding our little blue zone lows. Okay. So far, so good. Now, again, I mean, personally, I wouldn't buy this stuff until the Feds pivot. But maybe the projections of the pivot are all it needs. Again, that's where, again, I'm not shorting this stuff, but I'd rather be late than early. Because, again, we've talked about silver lagging, miners lagging. It's a cool candle. It's a cool candle for the bulls. GDX, same thing. Good candle. We'll see if it sticks. Because again, this is what the problem with these big candles is they're literally unlimited liquidity for the market makers to do whatever they want. Chasing, you know, chasing Jason. Got to be careful. AG, AEM, all these names. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out. Drop a comment. Yeah, just Newmont. We talked about this one. I'm like, how is this thing not in the 50s? I mean, this thing has been pinned to the dirt. Still pinned. Pass. All right, whatever. Is what it is. Tech. Got to give it credit ripping. But is it trapping? Here we go. Some fibs. Some fibbies. Some good old fibbies. Oh, let me pull that across. Perfect. There you go. 50% fib. See what happens here for Taiwan Semi. Again, I don't trust them. Good old Micron. Your favorite Micron. Is it breaking out? Trapping out? It's a tough one. I mean, it's got a little higher to go if it wants to hit the trend. Not far. It's always in play, right? AM Dizzle. Do you think this would be up 10 points today? No. Doji. That's some fibs. 786. NVIDIA. Shorted this one at 484 today. Looking pretty good. If you watch the... now again, could it rise tomorrow? Guaranteed. Possible. After hours, it's at 484. We'll see. Saw the retest. Let it burn. Let it burn. Let it burn. See what happens here. Intellectual property. I mean, you think this thing would be up 5% today? Nope. Just chopping. You got references. SMH up $2, 170. Got up to 171. Again, straight line moves. I mean, if you flip the charts upside down, you see this like... That's what I'm telling you guys. If you look at shorting these names, Give yourself time. Don't put yourself in a pickle. Adobe after hours getting, I wouldn't say cooked, but under 5 or under 600. It's back at this level right here, 594. Got down to 564 at one point. Interesting. We'll keep an eye on it because that could affect the NASDAQ tomorrow. Good old Apple took some shorts today. You know, was it the perfect entry? I don't know, 196, 197. I'm not complaining. I mean, I zoom out and I go, all right, well, I don't bring a ruler. I mean, I try to. But again, started shorting this thing again. Why not? Why not? In the recession, are people going to be buying iPhones? Fudge, no. Amazon is another one shorting. Wedge high in play. Keep an eye on it. CRM up 91 whopping cents. Keep an eye on this one. Because again, I think tech looks the juiciest. Tech and financials. Guggen's, nothing. You would think a day would be up. Meta, you think this would be flying today? Fly! Nope, Doji up 44 cents. Microsoft, this would be flying. Close up the 20-day up 7 cents. NDAQ gave you a retest. Keep an eye on this one. I think you can short this one. I mean, could you get up to the gap fill again? Anywhere. 56s, keep an eye on it. MicroStrategy, obviously Bitcoin got a little pop. I mean, watch this. It's kind of an interesting setup, right? It's just a tight range. Breaks out, go with, fails, goodbye. Netflix, we talked about 480 today in the Discord room retest. If you don't know how, why, what, where, when, excuse me, here's the weekly. Back test of a trend line and a zoner. Keep an eye on that. Roblox, again, not really. Just watch this. I want to see this down in the 17, 18 level, and Microsoft will buy them. Tesla should be up $5, $10. Dropped, rallied 20-day. Do we see tech is lagging? Got it. Oh, Insight. Talked about this with a few folks. Yeah, I can't talk about it too much, but yeah, that's interesting. Airbnb took shorts up here today. Why not? In this zone, I mean, could it get to 146? It's always possible, but why not layer in? Costco has earnings tomorrow. I play one put 3 weeks out. Spent $600. I will gladly let that one give it a run. Straight line move. I mean, is this Tesla 2.0? You remember 2021 Tesla? I mean, it's just like boom, 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 boom. Straight line. Glad we stopped out. That's what stops are for. That's what stops are for. You're going to be wrong in trading. Here you go. Check out the weekly. That's what stops are for. Once we broke over the 610 area, you got to take it easy. You got to let it roll. Starbucks should be up $2 or $3. Nope. Down 5 cents. FedEx, you would think. Transports be up $10. No, up 86 cents. Caterpillar. Now this is where it gets interesting, right? We talked about like any pop. I mean, now, again, you don't know exactly, but check this out, right? Support equals resistance. I mean, I would have never thought this thing went from here. I mean, because again, China's still a mess. To here, ooh-wee, baby. New core. Remember 170s fails, just chopping, holding the 20-day. Man, X went nuts today. Again, this is why we say don't short takeout targets. Hopefully the person who was asking did not. Good old VALE, global growth name. This thing's on fire. No, nothing. Arrow, copper. We talked about this one oversold. It's due to bounce. Look at the volume down here. Okay. Again, I don't really want to try to guess where this would go to short. I would just watch these names on dips because when they throw the baby out with the bathwater, they'll come down. CGJ holding the 20-day. CF. Talked about these names. Just let them play out. They're going to be choppy and sloppy. Mosaic, choppy and sloppy. Sloppy and choppy. NTR, same thing. Sloppy and choppy. Aaron, global growth name. I mean, is it bottoming? A lot of these names you think they are, but if there's real credit issues, global growth issues, if you've ever seen the VIX over 70, it makes your hair stand on the back of your neck. Because when you see all-out panic, is AA really going to hold up? Probably not. XLF, mind-boggling, getting up here. Okay, retesting the range. Blow off top. I mean, look at this thing. It's no breaks. No breaks. JP Morgan took a short on this one today. on the pops. So far, so good. Just watching 160, 161 area. Okay, I like that wick. Ain't got no problems with that. Keep an eye on it. Morgan Stanley, if you want to short, this one makes complete sense. I mean, I don't know where it stops other than I thought maybe the trend line, but when you zoom out to the weekly, it gets a little more clear. This 50, 100 week cross has been important. Seems very likely that it might act like resistance. Bank of America, put this one on your short list, right? Get out of here. Okay, well, nice rally. Give it credit. Goldman Sachs started some shorties on this one. Just, said, okay, 3, you got... I was looking at here and I was like, well, the market's going to cook. Why wouldn't we test up here? Okay, keep an eye on it. Keep an absolute eye on it. Just want to check out the monthly real quick. Yeah, this is a good reference. I mean, again, if you're wrong, you're gone. I don't know how to explain it. Carry, breaking out or faking out? Keep an eye on this one because I would argue, again, trapping. Yeah, filling the gap. Because junior banks are going to have a ton of problems. They're holding a ton of commercial paper. They're holding treasuries. They're holding real estate. Residential real estate debt. They're holding car debt. They're holding all the fun stuff. XBI, not surprised, catching a bid today, right? Obviously, look at this stuff. And this is where I pray to God anyone who's following had stops. We talked about last week. I think Jay Solstice, Eric, even I were all like, this is just frustrating. If the market's not going to turn over before the Fed meeting, it's not turning over. And if you waited for today and you waited for 2:30 and you waited for the action and you just started like nibbling at a grocery store, a little short here, a little short there. If you were long and you took your profits, amazing. If you were long and you bought long-term puts, amazing. Again, will this be right? No guarantees, but the probabilities are absolutely in your freaking favor. Because again, like Bitcoin last week, everyone's bullish and it's like, all right, solar, same kind of thing. Keep an eye on this. Sedgerton. Again, it's not hard to just give up if you're wrong at these levels. Again, these names are just poo. Ooh, ENPH. I didn't even see that one. Come on, 100-day. And then First Solar. We talked about if you shorted this sucker at the 160 plus. I guess 162. Looks good. Looks good. I know it's oversold, so maybe 20-day. Keep an eye on it. HYG, again, corporate debt. Trash. Floats last. Keep an eye on this area, right? Fill in the gap. And let's end it with oil and gas, and then I'll open up for questions. Check it out, right? It's been oversold. But is it going to bounce? I don't know. We'll see. Global growth, proxy right there. Natural gas. If you bought UNG, and I told you not to, I don't feel any pain for you. I think absolutely walloped. Good old XOP. Up a couple points. Not surprising. We talked about it was due. Said maybe this could be a novice gap. Okay, watch this again, 134 area. If you bought the drip, again, I don't usually chart this, but if you bought the drip down here, you're looking pretty outstanding. ExxonMobil, barely up today. Kind of curious, right? Can't get back over 99s. MPC, we said 150s. Looking good. Excuse me, that's smoky. Cooked a steak like a man. Valero, chopping. EQ, Oxy. Talked about Buffett doesn't care. He's like, let this thing burn. But you are at support. Should hold. Near term. We'll see. EQT. Laughed at folks who just were like, it's going to the moon. I'm like, well, you got to get over 44 before you can get to the moon. Chopping. And last but not least, Flex LNG. Again, you would think this thing would be up at point. All right. If you got any questions, let's open it up. This is a live chat. Don't be shy if you have any concerns, thoughts. Now looking at the futures, they're ramping after. Not surprised. Not surprised. A little bit of a continuation after hours. Not surprising. Just go to sleep well. Trust me. The futures market is, I tell people this all the time. If you're sitting up watching it all night, you're ruining your potential for the next day, because how many times have you gone to bed, or not gone to bed, but just watched the futures, saw them up, saw them down, and then the next day it didn't even matter. It literally didn't even matter. So at this point, just keep an eye on it. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? Again, I appreciate everyone. Oh, Dan, you should check out CVE. Okay, yeah, you've been talking about this one. I can do that. Let's do it. Let's do it. Because we did have Oxy did buy out a company last week. Oh, not too many E's. Or no, not. I know it was like yesterday. Sorry, what? CVE. Okay, you got clear support here. So the only thing I can say about CVE, and just kind of goes to any of these smaller names, and just because I'm trying to be completely 100% honest about seeing this stuff, and again, it could be a buyout target, absolutely. Looking at the weekly and the monthly, I mean, it's real. I mean, you got support here. I've just seen them throw the baby out the bathwater. If the VIX starts picking up, this thing could get smoked. But maybe oil's about to pick up. Maybe oil's oversold near term, and these could get a bounce. Like if I'm looking at relative value, I mean, it's probably not a bad play. I just don't know how much upside. Again, because if the market gets crapped on, I mean, I hate to sound like a, yeah, you know how it is. It's just they could poo on everything. CRSP, I don't even know what that is. Can you tell me what that is? CRSP. Crispy. Therapeutics. Oh. A lot of these bios have been beaten. And you should really... I don't like this candle at all. That looks scary as fudge. So the thing about bios is they love low interest rates, right? Because again, they're always borrowing money to burn it to try to invest in R&D. I'm not surprised I got a bounce today. So I was looking at Insight, a company I'm familiar with. Not surprised, like today's action. But this, I don't know what happened here. That scares me. This candle says a lot because you had the opportunity to break out. You made a new high. You engulfed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days of bullishness and gave it back. Just curious if we're holding at a fib near term. Okay, so the 0.618. Again, I don't... What's your question on it? I'll give you a second. I'm going to go get my Amazon package before a porch pirate gets it. All right. Yeah, I don't know, bud. I don't know what you're thinking is this. I mean, when someone just gives me a question without a comment, I don't know how to respond. I know what Jay Solstice was looking at because he was thinking it was a bounce play. Do you have any information you can bleed on my mind so I can offer the best assistance? If not, I don't know what to tell you other than I don't like this candle. This candle scares the shiznit out of me. Someone knows something. Because look at the volume. Yeah, you're welcome, Jay. Thank God, you got frustrated. I got frustrated last week. And this is where I talk about it. Like, maybe no one believes me, but that's fine. Again, all my haters on Twitter will be like, you're just always shorting. It's like trying to pick a top. Yeah, close. But last week, gave up. It's like, no, this big choppy, sloppy range, we'll just let it play out. If I'm late, you're late. If you're early, you're early. It's like, just this ain't working. And sometimes that's just how it is. It just ain't a word. It's just not working. And then you go. But as somebody who's been trading for a long time, like, this is the thing about extremes. A lot of people got really frustrated when we talked like, dude, you got to start taking off your shorts here. And then it looked like the world was over, and then it came right back. And I remember here, it was like, okay. Trend line. Breaking out? Nope. I mean, there's so many of these examples. We could go through them forever, right? Check this out, right? Novice gap trap, then it fails. Double top. Oh, it looks like it's like me. I remember this day too. I remember... Again, I have a pretty good memory. Remember this professional gap. Everyone's like, it's going. Hits, double taps, and then boom, gaps down the next day. Oops. Yeah. Here's a chop top, right? Novice gap, chop top. 3 gap trap, 1, 2, 3, bottom. Right? 3 gap trap. Now look at today's, I mean, look at this. Okay. I mean, if it's a breakout, it's really hard to believe it, honestly. But this is the thing. People are like, you're a perma bear. I'm like, no, I'm a contrarian at times because I know what the market's meant to do. It's meant to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. Like, it's just like, again, I hate to bash on Bitcoin, but this is what we talked about. Like last week, I'm like, this straight line move is not healthy. Like, it's probably going to pull back. And there it is on volume. Does it make a lower high? Because I know a lot of people are like, Bitcoin to the moon, which, again, I'm not, again, I don't have an opinion on Bitcoin to the moon, but I can't call it a breakout until it gets over 68,000. So there's so much room in between and people stuck. It's hard to say. Again, the people who believe in this stuff, they believe in it. But I'm a trader by heart. So that's why it's like hard to say, well, people are like, well, I bought it last week on a 5-year horizon. Well, if you guys know me well, I don't do that. I wouldn't say, like, that's the kind of crap, and apologize to the person who's listening, that's the kind of crap I hear at the highs. Flip it over to the SPY. I'm buying on a 5-year horizon. Oh, are you now? Okie dokie. Well then, all right. So I guess then trading's not really your thing. We'll see. Does that make sense? Any questions, thoughts, concerns on that? Again, because it's, people are like, why? Because, again, the best traders in trading are lone wolves. Buffett doesn't look for confirmation from the market. He does what he wants. When you see that guy raising huge amounts of level of cash, why? When Mark Cuban, Michael Jordan are like, get me out of the NBA. I'm selling selling everything. Why? Again, I mean, I could go and we talked about this last week when Jim Chanos' hedge fund, one of the best short and probably the all-time best shorting hedge fund, blows up. That's a sign to you. The market said whales eat whales. At lows, you see oil instant. Like remember when oil blew up in 2021 or whatever, 2020? How many institutions that were oil-based traders? Kapow. Telling you, at inflection points, major things start popping out of nowhere. And I don't know what the headline's going to be. And that's where people are always like, oh, you got lucky. No. The headline usually comes after because somebody knows what the hell's going on at lows, at highs. And again, it's a feel thing. If this was an absolute, and this is where, again, I don't, troll me all you want. I don't care. It's an art. It's not all logic. The market is not rational because the people trading it aren't rational. Right? It's the most overbought. We'll see. Can it get more overbought? Oh, you bet your ass it can. So, again, if you have questions, concerns, thoughts, be careful. No one knows anything for certain. Anyone trying to play that game, I am telling you, I think the short is the best opportunity in probability-based trading. Am I sitting here promising you can't lose? No, I am not. Just bothers me. No, actually, it doesn't bother me. I prefer when these folks come out of the woodworks because at the lows and the highs, they're so loud and stupid. Because, I'm not trying to pick on them, but they're easy targets. It's like, to the moon. If you start hearing everyone to the moon, you need to get off the moon. You need to get in your damn rocket, your Elon rocket, and get off for a little bit because there's probably an asteroid about to hit that son of a bitch. It could get a little funky there. I don't even know what StockTwits. I'm curious what StockTwits actual, like, what do you call it? The bullish bearish survey. Right? We'll see. We'll see. Again, nobody knows for sure. It's all probability based. Oh, but you can't short. Okay. The same folks, I swear to God, will be the same people that are like patting my back at some point and the market's down and they're going to go, it's going to the ground. It's going to zero. And it's like, what the fudge? Why? Don't be like that. Don't be like that. All right. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? Going on 35 minutes. If you need to go, go. If you want to just chat, chat. But I hope people get that. Again, whoever's selling you certainty, you need to run. Oh, but the market always goes up. Typically it does. But do you remember the 1970s when inflation got anchored? Do you remember that? Do you remember the times? I wish you had more of the book, but it literally... Here, give me 2 seconds. I can take a picture of it, put it on Discord, and show you. Let's add this picture, if you can hear me. Open up my camera. I can open up my camera. Let me open up my camera. All right, now let me download it from a Discord. Open in browser. Can I flip it? No, I have to save image as whatever. Whatevs. Where are you at? Image. Let's rotate. Oh, nope. Wrong way. Basically, I had a decade of nothing. That's not it. What is that? I don't even know what that is. Oh, that's an old, like, yeah, I got banned on Facebook. It's cool. It's cool to join that club. But here you go. America loses its pride. Pretty sure we've got pride. Oh, man. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? Because I feel like this is where we're at. Yeah. All right. Well, seems like it's rather quiet on the Western Front. Futures are getting a little steeped, getting a little tired. Oh, Yanni. You know, Yanni, the great musician Yanni. So, all right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm always here for you guys. Again, if you want to attack me, please leave a comment below. I really appreciate it. The more loudly you scream at the highs and lows, the more confident I am you're going to be wrong. But you were wrong here. Guess what? I'm going to be wrong again. And so are you. And so are you at times. But you know what? You put the probabilities in your favor. Hey, you were wrong. It happens. Anyone who's selling you on certainty, again, man, I could go through the rules. I did on the last live chat, my Randy Howe notes. I love updating and messing with them. This is a probability-based game. Your mind is the key here. If you start believing your own hype, you're an idiot. People are like, you're believing your own hype. No, I'm using probabilities. You tell me I want a short here. More likely, we talked about here bouncing. Talked about bouncing. Talked about bouncing. Probabilities. I didn't stay bullish at the lows. We talked about this so many fudging times. We talked about using OPEX first and last 3 business days. Notice where all these bottoms are. Going into the first and last 3 business days. Oh, and then you have one OPEX bottom. So it's OPEX. And what is this week? It's a quad witching. $3.1 trillion of options are expiring on Friday. I'm pretty sure market makers sold a lot of calls today. Anyone want to make a bet that they don't cash those son of a bitches in? Pretty sure everyone dumped their puts today. Everybody. Who's sitting on all these wonderful gifts, potentially? The guy taking the other side of the trade. Who usually loses? The guy's taking the trade. So, always here to help. Again, appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Have a wonderful, amazing night. I will talk to you guys and gals later. Peace in the middle.